We're back. In a while. Oh, we're back in style. That's right. Welcome to 4K for you. We've got so far Mike's here. How you doing, Mike?
I'm fine. How are you guys doing?
Glad to have you. We're doing all right. We got Valiant Renegade in the house. He's slumming it with us lowly YouTubers, Mr. Fox News himself. How you doing?
Oh, ha, ha, ha. No, I'm good. Glad to be back. Glad to be back.
I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, we got a little bit of news, a little bit of rumors and whatnot. So let's get into the basics of it all. After we say hello to the folks in the chat, we got Price of Reason. I see you. We got Last Son of K. We got Coffee Lover here. Kenneth LaRock, George Bonnie, Duck Nation's here. Coco Dragon's here, or Cocho Dragon. You told me how to say it, and I forgot. We got Sean Stackhouse here. Many Dragons here. Let's see here. Looks like that's just about everybody. Thank you for being here, guys, so far. Share the link. Greg should be here hopefully soon. Ace Hanlon. Haven't seen him yet. We got FKHC 2005, Carl's Art Universe. Welcome to the program. Hit the like, share out the link. We got Lester San Jose. Glad to be here. Glad to see you. So yeah, let's get into the news and rumors, and then we'll talk about them. Let's do it. Hello once again, and welcome to your 4K for you news and rumors for the week of July 12th, 2023. For the news, we got Elizabeth 4K coming from Universal on the 22nd of August. Psycho 1 through 4 are coming in 4K on the 25th of September from Arrow. There's a look at the box art. Of course, the first film has already been released in 4K, but now we get the entire set. Kino Lorber is releasing Blown Away at some point in 2023. No date yet. No date yet for The Boogans. That's also coming in 4K this year from Kino Lorber. Brokeback Mountain is also coming late in 2023 from Kino Lorber. My Bloody Valentine is getting a nice special edition collector's set from Shout Factory on the 12th of September. Night of the Comet is coming on the 5th of September from Shout Factory, and Natural Born Killers will be available on the 26th of September, but the theatrical cut is the only version in 4K. I believe the unrated cut will be available on Blu-ray in the set, though. Also, here's a look at the possible steelbook for Cutthroat Island from Studio Canal, coming later this year. Here's a look at When Harry Met Sally from Cape Light Pictures. This is a German release. That will be available October 20th of this year. Only a couple rumors in the rumor mill. Mr. Mom is rumored to be coming soon in 4K, most likely from Shout Factory. Thinner is rumored to be coming in 4K. I don't have a studio for that, but I think it might be Kino. And also we have Scrooged rumored for late this year from Paramount. Kind of makes sense probably for the Christmas season. There you go, folks. See you on the show. And we've got Greg joining us now. How you doing?
Doing good. Glad to be here. Cutting a little late for myself, but I'm glad to be here.
All right. No, we just decided we're gonna get rolling because I full disclosure, I did watch 6 movies for tonight's show, but they're all the same series.
I'm guilty too. I did the same thing.
So if I want to have time to watch anything else before the show tonight, we're gonna have to get out of here sooner than later. But anyhow, hope you're doing well, Greg. Welcome
yeah,
to the
doing very
program.
good.
Of course, we just went through the news and rumors of the week. So yeah, anything stick out to you guys? Let's start with you, Valiant. Anything on that list that you really are looking forward to?
I mean, nothing jumped out at me too much, but yeah, I mean, like, I'm always interested to see what new is coming down the pike.
Yeah, there's a few good ones on there, but Greg, anything stick out to you
The
at
Psycho
all?
collection is what I'm up
Yes,
for. The
yeah.
Psycho collection. I'm
It's worth
trying
pointing
to.
out that Psycho Collection's a UK only release, by the way.
Yes,
It is,
yes.
but I didn't have no problem getting it imported, or at least the
No, I
listing yet.
shouldn't.
So
Diabolic's got it on 4K region
I think
free.
that's who
So
I ordered it from. If not, I got it directly from Arrow. Yeah. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
4K discs will be region free, but any Blu-rays will probably be region locked, though.
yeah, I plan on getting the 4K set because I love the first two at least, and the fourth one. The third one is, but
I don't
like
hate the third one.
I don't hate it, but it's definitely the
It's
weakest of
got
the
some
movies.
moments that are, but
Yeah,
yeah, people. Go ahead.
The third one is very Coen Brothers inspired. I think it's a really odd movie. That was the one that was directed by Anthony Perkins
Himself, yeah, and
Yeah,
if I remember right, Ebert really liked that movie. Siskel and Ebert.
yeah, it's shot really interesting. It has a really interesting Rycooter. Or was it Rycooter? No, the gentleman that did the score escapes me right now, but the score is really interesting.
I give Anthony Perkins credit for stepping outside the norm of the Psycho series a little bit, so I give him credit for that. So
And then the fourth film, most people don't realize that that's basically what Bates Motel is based upon.
And it's actually considered the second movie now by the guy who wrote it, because he's the original writer of the first movie, I believe.
Well, it's a prequel anyway, really.
It's a prequel sequel.
No, it's not. It discounts Psycho 2 and 3.
Yes.
And there's a present day portion of the film, and then it's told there's flashbacks.
In a way, though, it doesn't really.
No, because you can,
I mean, it's like it's that many years later that you could just figure like whatever. Just that much time has passed since part 3, basically.
Yep. Pretty much.
But yeah, Mike, any of those stick out to you?
A couple. I'm pretty excited about Night of the Comet coming out.
Yes.
On 4K. This will be a new 4K scan of the film because the previous Blu-ray release was not a 4K scan, so it should look really great. I'm a big lover of that film. I love Catherine Mary Stewart. I'm a huge fan of The Last Starfighter. That movie came out actually tomorrow is the anniversary of that film. It came out on July 13th in 1984. I was a huge fan of that movie, and I was really looking forward to The Last Night of the Comet. Night of the Comet came out in the fall of 84.
Nice.
So I've been in love with both those movies since the mid 80s. And then the Boogans, I did not have that one on my 4K bingo card for this year. It's kind of an unexpected announcement for that movie.
I know.
If you're not familiar with it, it's a pretty decent little horror movie until the monsters show up and they're kind of silly. But the atmosphere and everything about that movie is really well done. It's just the creature effects they're kind of silly. They leave something to be desired.
Nothing wrong with that.
Other than that, Bookends is not a bad movie.
That's what I'm probably getting. The one I'm looking most forward to is probably Brokeback Mountain.
Why can't I quit
of
you?
course.
That goes without saying.
Yes, of
I
course.
would. My Demon Lover. I've been waiting for that one for a long time on Blu-ray.
Yeah, there was a few Shout Factory titles I didn't get on this that I probably should have. There was that, The Pack.
Jennifer 8.
There's a couple of them they did announce that I was like thought about it, but I just didn't really have the time to get them in there today. Maybe I'll try and get them in for next time. But no, I do know though that people were asking, especially like Yellow Flash had been asking about Natural Born Killers, and you I think answered him, Greg, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I read it somewhere.
I'm not surprised if that's the case either.
Yeah, I think I read it somewhere. I know it's not on the official Shout Factory website, but I think I did read somewhere that the theatrical cut will be the only one in 4K. It's typically what they've been doing anyways, and like Mike here said that most of the director's cuts and stuff don't have a 4K negative to pull from to do the 4K Isn't that what you said, Mike?
Yeah, yeah. Anything shot on film, they usually anything that wasn't theatrical usually doesn't have a 4K.
Yeah. So
It all depends on how it was stored, what they have on hand. Because a lot of times these extended cuts are generally taken from an earlier reel of the film, and they may not have saved those outtakes.
yeah. So as far as now, count on it being that way until Shout Factory actually comes out and confirms it. But I would bet that the director's cut will not be 4K.
The other side of it is I think sometimes, like with these certain companies, they like to keep the unrated versions for their own 4K release down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes. But otherwise, it just generally, we've gotten very, very, very few times where we get both the extended and the original cuts in 4K. Only a few random times that I can think of, like Blade Runner, Godfather, getting the Donner cut for Superman 2, but then we don't get the Donner cut of Superman 1, just the theatrical cut, so go figure.
Yeah.
But as far as like personal ones in there that have stuck out to me, this week was a little slim. I did pre-order When Harry Met Sally. I hate Meg Ryan, but the movie's okay. Other than that, there was the Psycho set, like you said, really that stuck out to me, more or less. A little disappointed by Shout Factory's releases. Excuse me, Night of the Comet's good, but My Bloody Valentine and Natural Born Killers are not two I'm really all that hyped on, because Bloody Valentine's okay, but it's just another Friday the 13th kind of rip-off to me, or Halloween rip-off more so.
We'll have to see how much of an upgrade the 4K is to the Blu-ray, because the Shout Factory Blu-ray was based off 4K scan, probably the same 4K scan they're using for this.
Probably. And Natural Born Killers, I know some people are big fans of that film. I'm just not, mainly because I'm not a big fan of the film. I don't remember it. It's been a while. Maybe I'll enjoy it if I see it again.
I never thought it was all that good.
Yeah, but and then in history you find out that Tarantino doesn't even care for it all that much, because Oliver Stone basically just completely rewrote his entire script. So I don't even consider it a Tarantino film for that reason, but
it has moments, but I was never like a huge fan myself. So, but I may pick it up though, because I don't know. It just depends how I feel when it releases. but
I know it has its fans. So
yeah. I mean, Woody Harrelson does give a pretty good performance. I'll give him that. So,
Mr. Mom, maybe. I mean, Scrooged, obviously, I think.
Oh, definitely.
But I mean, that's kind of almost like a no-brainer. It's just a rumor for now, but it's a pretty solid rumor, I'd say, especially considering the timing of it. I imagine we'll start hearing about a lot of Christmas releases here in the next few weeks. And Scrooged is a holiday classic that probably sells well for Paramount. Let's just hope it doesn't get the Planes, Trains, and Automobiles treatment.
Oh, God, I hope not. Oh, that would be horrible.
I'm waiting to hear early reviews on Ferris Bueller before I even consider picking it up.
I've heard mostly good things about that, but I do know that I think they had the original cinematographer involved in that one. But I do know a few people have gotten their hands on it so far and said it's pretty good looking. So
I'm pretty selective. I need more about what I actually pre-order when it comes to 4K discs. A lot of times I'll wait.
The last release of Ferris Bueller is actually taken from that 4K scan, but they actually went in and recolor timed it and all that kind of stuff with the Dolby Vision and HDR and all that stuff.
Well, let's just hope, like Valiant and us talked about the last time with the monitors, that they have it adjusted right so the color timing is right.
Well, I hope that something. Well, Andre and I have been trying to figure this out too, because we get quite a few. If it's not from a boutique label actually doing their own scan anymore, it's really hit and miss on what you get on the other end. Now, some of this I can understand, like with doing a lot of research, because one of the biggest problems they'll have is like the yellow will be one of the first, or the green will be one of the first colors to really leave the film. So you'll get heavy blues and reds, so they'll have to compensate for that, and that's in certain, depending on the age of the film. So that's part of the problem, I think, is that they're kind of having to manipulate shit and they're not paying attention to every aspect that they're going through. And or like Valiant and some other people have posited, some of these remastering houses, they may not have their shit calibrated correctly. And that could make some sense too, considering how bad some of these are coming out.
There's only so many reasons it can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
and
Unless it's just pure negligence, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's laziness, then I don't know what else to say other than, you know. And I mean, look, it's a industry where there's not a lot of money in it for the studios. So I get it that they're not putting the time, effort, and care into a lot of this stuff. I do know there are certain efforts within the studios, but not to the extent that they used to be like in the days of DVD. So it's just one of those things we do have to kind of deal with and find a happy balance in. And I'm not saying that like you should accept every problem that comes out of the, you know.
Yeah.
But there's some things I think we can just kind of overlook from time to time. We should at least try to, because look, there's just nothing else we can do about it at this point.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're just not going to fix these discs for one little minor issue. Although I'm completely on the side of, look, this is probably the last time these movies are going to be preserved.
Mm-hmm.
So you should probably make that extra effort to get it right, I think. But so some of these studios, these movies aren't worth what they are to us. So
exactly, and that's, you know, I'm all for that, and as long as I can watch the movie, I'm happy with it. And that's also like the thing. I don't know if you guys saw the article from Media Play News, but bootlegs are on the rise because of that, because of the studios not taking care of their past movies and catalogs and stuff, and not releasing things. So like apparently, like the most physical media that was released last year or so far this year has been more bootlegs than actual studio. So it's crazy.
I can see a lot of that, like streaming only films being put on actual disc by bootleggers.
It was Ralph Trimbley who runs the DVD. He like tracks DVDs and sales ever since DVD was invented. He tracks DVD, Blu-ray, 4K sales, and he said he's never seen as many Blu-ray bootleg disc that he's ever seen it, because it's always been a problem. You know, it's always been in the corners. People's always bootleg, but he said he's never seen so many bootleg Blu-rays come out in the past year than ever before, and they're being sold like on Etsy and other places. And it's like he says, as moment as that theatrical release or that or streaming release hits the streaming services or the digital platforms, they're immediately downloaded, and within 90 seconds there's a disc made and already for sale.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it's not like there isn't a market for it, especially in some countries where, you know, streaming has not yet taken hold, or they don't have the infrastructure of internet and all that kind of stuff to really handle it yet. But at the same time, you know, I'm not saying we should let them get away with shit, but I'm saying some stuff that we nitpick and get pedantic about, sometimes we kind of need to let go.
Yeah.
But there are some things that it's like, I'm getting to the point where I think we need to concentrate more of our effort on preservation. Because if we don't, these studios are not going to get the message. And the only thing we got on our side right now is the boutique labels. Even though the studios are not giving us things, the boutique labels are having like a heyday right now. Like, look at the stuff that Kino Lorber's given to us, and some of the other companies have managed to be able to get their hands on. 10, 20 years ago, there's no way we would have got those.
And I've bought so many low budget, straight to VHS, straight to video, late night cable movies and stuff from boutique labels that I never in a million years would have thought of got even a 4K, and they're getting 4Ks. It's crazy. Well,
even a situation like the Friday the 13th box set, I don't even think 10, 15 years ago that would have been possible. There's no way Paramount would have let anybody. In fact, Paramount, I think, went and rebought the rights back from Sean Cunningham like a little while back for the distribution of them, because they did lose them for a short window. This other company was releasing the videos. This was just prior to DVD, but anyhow, moving on. We've got a super chat here from Ken and Fella Darrow, who says, "Hi, since I want to watch Good Indiana Jones, are the 4Ks out now worth getting? I have an older Blu-ray disc, but the orange blue seems a little overdone." Now, I have personally didn't notice any issues with the 4Ks, but there are people who probably know these movies inside and out better than I do. And there are some people who claim that there were some minor changes made. Now, probably these changes were made by Lucas over the last 10 years without people noticing.
There's been
But it's
subtle little fixes
like,
here and there.
yeah, I was gonna say,
like
but to the
removing
major things, no.
Yeah, like removing the glare from the glass in between the Cobra and Indy.
Which is funny because I thought Spielberg said he would never do that, but I think somebody pointed out that they had done that.
Yeah, it's just there's not very many, but just little stuff like that here and there.
Yeah.
Not to the extent of Star Wars by far.
Oh no, hell no, no.
No. And George was always one of those who, even before the special editions, was always tinkering with every release of every one of his movies. Even if, like I said, even if you didn't notice it, he had done little subtle things here and there just because little stupid shit bother him and he'd want to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Which is insane, but hey, I mean, if he has it, I guess.
No, but from my memory, I haven't watched Last Crusade yet, but I watched Raiders and Temple of Doom in 4K, and they both look pretty good. Crystal Skull is an upconvert, I believe, because it had a 2K interpositive, even though it's shot on film. Unless they did go back and rescan it, I don't know. I haven't watched it.
Sorry. Didn't Lucas scan these in 4K, possibly 8K before he even sold the company?
That part I do know, yeah. Him and Francis Ford Coppola and I think Spielberg scanned a few films a while back in like 8K or 16K. And the Star Wars films were a few of them. Coppola had done The Godfather then, and then he redid it again here a few years ago for the new 4K. I believe, unless they just used those scans. And then I think that's when Spielberg did, I think, Jaws and E.T., I think.
Yeah.
But like a bunch of, like, Jurassic Park needs a new scan.
Mm-hmm.
Badly. And some other ones do. But no, I can recommend them. They're decent enough, especially if you want to just get them. They got nice Steelbook editions now.
And they were going
buy the first three, yeah.
They were going pretty cheap on Amazon here lately for like $20 pop. So,
yeah. Speaking of Jaws, I was pleasantly surprised with the Jaws 2 4K. But it looked pretty good.
Not horrible. Didn't get quite the treatment the first one did, but
well, to be fair, it's not Jaws. I mean, it's Jaws.
No, but you know what? I think it really would have benefited from at least a Dolby Atmos sound upgrade. I mean, especially with that score, because I personally actually like Williams' score for the second film more than the first one.
Nice.
But it is what it is. It's a decent release. It didn't get anything new added to it. But speaking of that, this is usually where we kind of talk about the stuff that we've watched over the past week. I know, Valiant, you finally got around to watching a few movies, it looked like, from your Twitter post.
Yeah, I mean, the past couple of weeks, wound up with The Firm, wound up with, let's see, Jaws 2 came in, Truman Show. So, yeah, it was nice to kind of sit down and watch some new stuff. It's been a couple of weeks.
Nice. I still need to pick up the Truman Show. I've been wanting to get that for a while. So I haven't seen that in a long time.
It looks great. I mean, it really does. I have no complaints on it. Same thing with Jaws too. I was happy with it. The Firm looks wonderful. None of this was overly smashed with the DNR in the least bit. So
nice.
That's that's the best you can hope for.
Yeah. Good scans, good movies. Yeah.
All right, Greg, anything new you've been watching in the last week that you wanted to bring up?
I haven't watched nothing in 4K. Well, sort of.
Or anything else, sort of.
Yeah. I mean, I'm much like we're going to discuss tonight, me and you, Tom. I've watched 6 movies, and 3 of them are for the first time ever. The Mission Impossible movies. So I watched
me
them.
too.
Yeah. I sadly don't have the 4Ks, though. Well, because
this is weird, because, like, really...
That's the box set I've got.
Yeah, that's what I was...
But this has all the special features, of course.
Yeah. So, yeah. I was wanting to buy that because I actually had the first 5 movies on Blu-ray I bought like 3 years ago, and I had never watched them. And so I figured, since the new movie's coming out and everybody keeps telling me that the 4, 5, and 6 are so good, and because I hated part 2, part 3 I thought was so I wanted to watch 4, 5, and 6, and I liked 4, 5, and 6. I thought they were pretty good. I liked them. I think the series gets better.
Hate 2 this time. I watched them all, and my score is like part 1's up here, And then from part 1, it goes like 2, and then they're all just kind of like the same level. They're all
I gotta
pretty
be
much the
honest.
same movie. They're a lot like Transformers to me, and I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it. People like them; they're better films than Transformers, but like really, they're all like the one that sticks out the most to me would be the last two, just before the newest one that just come out in theaters, because I really liked that villain,
Yes,
Lane.
he was a
But
great villain, wasn't he? I really
yeah,
enjoyed his.
yeah,
I really enjoyed him. I thought Part 4, Ghost Protocol. I thought that was pretty good. I thought that had a decent character building movie, and I really
that's probably the better of all the bunch of them. I'd agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really enjoyed Jeremy Renner's character, and then like he disappears, and they don't explain what happened to him. And I was like, okay,
Yeah, he's not in the new one at all.
yeah, and they don't really explain it after he becomes this like pretty important character in the movies. But then I really did like Lane. I thought he was an amazing villain. I thought he was pretty good, and I thought they took too long. I don't know. I don't think I should spoil. I don't know if I should spoil the Henry Cavill thing.
Yeah, that one's a little older now, so
Yeah, well, if anybody never, if no one spoilers haven't heard it, I thought they took too long in getting to him being the villain because he actually plays a pretty darn good secondary
it's
villain
actually
to
kind of
Lane.
telegraphed pretty early on.
Yeah, it is
actually.
telegraphed pretty early on, but
As
it
soon
takes
as
a
like
little
the
while
second
for a
or
villain.
first or second time he talks to what's her face,
Angela Bassett.
like you can kind of figure it out. Like
Yeah,
it seems
yeah,
pretty obvious
but they
because he's
take too
obviously
long to like
yeah.
twist it. But yes, it is very, very obvious, and he is a great secondary villain. He actually plays a villain. And how is this guy not an action hero in more movies? Legitimately, when he's in that helicopter and he's got that big freaking gun and he's blasting that gun, he looks straight like out of an 80s movie, an 80s action flick.
Mhm.
How is he not? How are we not getting movies with him being a hero like that? I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I didn't
Forget
know
the
there was
Superman stuff.
an Entertainment Wizard. I didn't know there was a issue with the previous My Bloody Valentine. Mike, do you know anything about this? Because I've never been a
No.
huge fan of the film.
I don't recall ever hearing anything, but
I would imagine if
It
they were
wouldn't
aware of
surprise
it, they
me.
would have fixed it for this one, obviously.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me with all the QC issues Shout Factory has.
Yeah. I mean, I would hope they would have anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I guess I enjoyed them for the most part. Plus, I saw the new film, and
I haven't seen
more
the
of the
one yet.
same. So it's just, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
I
really
was
looking
think-
forward to seeing the new one sometime this week.
I was thinking about it.
I really like 4, 5, and 6. So I'm looking forward to this one.
I get it. If you enjoyed the last few, you'll probably like this one. That's about the best I can say. And then we got Primarch Vulcan, who says Jeremy Renner's character disappearing makes me think they may bring him back in part 2. Well, that is if they filmed it before he got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all the timing of it, because a lot of this was filmed in 2020, so he might pop up. That's the thing, is this movie feels like they're trying to bring back just about every character and touch on previous things from other films before.
Isn't this
I'm not
supposed to
gonna
be
give too much away.
the finale? Like Dead Reckoning Part 1 and 2 is the finale of the whole movie franchise?
Might be. Depends, I guess, on how big these are. I mean, I got to imagine after the lawsuits and all the stuff they've dealt with, Paramount and Tom are probably pretty much done with each other. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Valiant, do you know anything about it?
I don't think so.
It's pretty interesting though. I'm thinking about maybe going seeing it this weekend myself. I did enjoy I enjoyed them. I gotta say, I was often told it, and I thought they were a lot better than Part 2, and they fixed what J.J. Abrams had messed up in the third one, in my opinion.
Well,
But yes, there are certain. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was just gonna say real quick. I might have my headphones have been cutting out. Which part? When you were asking me if I knew anything about this, were you talking about the 7th one?
I think they were talking about the lawsuit with Tom Cruise and Paramount.
Oh,
yeah, it's a recent
okay.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't know anything about that one. No, I don't. I mean, God,
Like what
only
Greg
knows.
was saying is he thinks that the 8th film is going to be the last one, and I said, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
They want to make more. I mean, they want to keep going past 8. I mean, they've talked about that. So I don't know what the specifics boil down to, but I'm sure. I mean, I know in the past it was a matter of he went after them because he didn't want them dumping stuff on Paramount Plus. Apparently he had some kind of contractual obligation that said they really couldn't. I guess unless Paramount turns over a big fat check. I know that's been a big bugaboo with him, which I don't blame him. To make sure that all of
There
these
was
movies
some
he does get proper
budgetary
windowing.
thing with Paramount and Tom on these two movies. I do know that. Like, as far as I know, I think he had to sue Paramount just to get both films finished. Remember right? I don't know the specifics of the whole thing, but
I know Paramount came out and talked about. I heard some wild figure for these two movies of like 800 million.
yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. And I think that was what the dispute was all over, probably.
Yeah. Now there's tax credits that come back in on top of that, which is why this one is still rumored to be around 290.
Yeah.
So,
but well, we'll have to wait and see what they do because the next part comes out in what, October? Or no, is it next year?
Dead Reckoning Part 2?
Yeah.
Summer next year, July.
Summer next year? Is it a whole year?
Yeah.
I thought it was only like 6 months.
Nuh-uh.
Okay. I don't care that much, so whatever.
That might have been the plan until all the strikes go.
Yeah, it may have been one of the versions I remember hearing. But anyway, Entertainment Wizard says the theatrical uncut footage has replaced R-rated scenes. It happened in both Lionsgate and Shout version. The theatrical uncut footage has
For
replaced
My
R-rated.
Bloody.
So are you saying that they only have an uncut version and not the R-rated cut? Is that what the issue is? Because that's probably on Lionsgate then, because that's the only version they'll give Shout. That's why.
But what did he? No, Shout didn't do the new one. I was thinking maybe it was the remake, but then I realized Shout didn't do the remake.
Yeah, I'm not sure otherwise on what you're getting at here, Entertainment Wizard.
Well,
so.
I mean, Shout Factory's Blu-ray is based on a new 4K scan, so.
And then Tim here says, I think there was some deleted footage they couldn't put back in because of the film deteriorated. That can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know for the uncut version of Silent Night, Deadly Night, they literally had to upconvert Laserdisc scenes because they don't have the original stuff to go. They don't even have a print of it, I guess.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So they don't even know what happened to that version that they used that from. But yeah, that's about the size of that. And again, I didn't mean to keep this show so brief today, but there wasn't a whole lot of news and rumors, even though it's been a week since we had a show. Or over a week, I should say, I guess 2 weeks or whatever. But yeah. Was there anything else you guys wanted to discuss? Any news or anything that came across that you guys recall over the last 2 weeks we hadn't touched on in entertainment, home video news or whatever, I mean?
I don't think so.
No, other than possibly the bootleg stuff. That could be another.
I'm not surprised by that.
I can't blame him for not not wanting like Top Gun or the Mission Impossible to go on to Paramount Plus and get a bootleg before it's all done. So yeah, I think that's about really it. There's not much else I can think of. Nothing new in terms of physical media.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of a slow period here, but I have a feeling we'll start getting a bunch of announcements for fall and Christmas movies here soon. So that'll pick up.
Talk to some folks when I go to Horror Hound next month.
Nice.
See if there's anything from Vinegar Syndrome or Severn or Synapse or any of those companies that frequent the horror conventions.
Cool. Bring back some good news.
Okay, he's saying the theatrical cut somehow uncut footage replaced theatrical version scenes. Best guess was, well, does it advertise as both versions being on the disc? Entertainment Wizard, because if it not, then like I said, that's just because that's the only version Shout license out now. That happens a lot.
I have the Blu-ray. Let me go look on the back real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say because if he's saying it's supposed to have both cuts, and in the other cut they mucked it up, that's plausible. I see what you're saying there. Otherwise, if it has just one version, then that's just the only version that the licensees will license out. Because that's the other thing that from talking to some of these boutique guys, knowing what I do know is that they're kind of at the mercy of whatever the studio allows them to have or get. Because there's even situations where I've heard where they have certain extended versions of movies, but the studio refuses to let them have it because then or put it on the disc because then they have to make it accessible to like every other. It's a pain in the ass with the licensing and shit sometimes. So sometimes you're just stuck at the mercy of whatever they give you.
Okay, I have it right here. It says disc 1 theatrical cut, disc 2
Okay, so what
uncut
he's
version.
saying then, so what he's saying then is they fucked up on that cut, and they have the
So,
uncut version and theatrical cut. So then, yeah. So hopefully, if they rescan it, then they'll fix that. If that's the case, that's the best I can tell you on that one, Entertainment Wizard.
yeah. Because it says disc 1 theatrical version, 4K scan of the original camera negative, disc 2 uncut version, 4K scan of the uncut original camera negative.
Yeah.
That's what it
Vader's
says. So.
Brick. I did see this, but I didn't cover it in the news because I usually don't cover things that are re-releases, even if they're just like, unless there's something different about the disc itself. That's the only time I usually do. Because these have already been released, and as far as I know, they're the same movies, just they're being put in steelbooks. That's all to promote the new movie. But yep, they're on sale right now. There's a lot of great sales right now on Amazon, but nothing really stood out to me too much, other than like the X-Men 4Ks, which have been in and out of print here and there. You can get those now. A couple other things, but yeah, the Blu-ray Mission Impossible set was on sale too. I don't know how much the 4K one's going for, but.
I think the whole box set was. I mean, it was pretty cheap. I mean, I've had mine for a while. I think I might have bought mine on a Prime Day a couple of years ago, and it was fairly cheap. But it's you're better off just buying the 4K Blu-ray combo set because, like I said, I don't think it was all that much.
That's what I want to pick up because I have the Blu-rays, and after watching them, I was like, I want these in 4K now. So, and I enjoyed them, but I do still think the first
they
one
look pretty good. And the upside is that I think all but the last one were filmed in film, and maybe even the last one was done on film because that one has some IMAX scenes in it.
With Fallout.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I have to.
I'm not sure.
Look. Yeah, I don't.
But the first obvious 5 are shot on film for sure, and they're pretty. Especially the first film looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
and I don't even know how old these scans are, huh?
He said, yeah, the first one was in '98. That was way before the digital
96.
era. 96.
Yep. Well, yeah, they did a new scan of the first film not too long ago before it was released on 4K.
I'm sure. I think De Palma probably even overseen because he's been doing all of his films in 4K. So.
Nice.
Yeah, there were some long breaks in between. I mean, you think about it, you really didn't get. Let's see, the first three were really done before digital was.
That's the beauty of it. Yeah, the third one is where the
fourth might have been where it spilled over and you had 4K cameras. I mean, I know at the time.
I don't even know. Maybe I'd have to look here. Let me look.
Yeah, I got to go back and pull up the release dates. Fallout was 2018. Rogue Nation was 15, I think, and Ghost Protocol, which was the fourth one, would have been around 12. So that was on the cusp.
I think that was 15, actually. Fallout was 18.
Yeah, that's what I said. Fallout was 18, and then you had...
Oh, did you? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Fallout was 18. Rogue Nation before that, I think, was 15. And then Ghost Protocol, I think, was 12.
Oh, okay. That's what you said. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought Ghost Protocol was the one in between, but that's the thing, is that... Look... I apologize to the fans of these films. They are what they are. I'm just not. They're not my cup of tea. They really are not much different than like Transformer movies to me. But all right, let's look back here. We've got. Let's go by the last one, Fallout, which I'm pretty sure was probably shot with Aries and. Let's see, technical specs.
Oh, you an IMDb Pro? Yeah.
Well, just regular, but yeah. Shot with RE Flex, as I said, Panavision C and E series. The Millennium, Panavision, Panaflex, the Red Weapon Dragon. Yeah, so that one was all shot digital. The negative format was 35 millimeter though.
Well,
and so Red Code Raw.
The
digital but it was done in 4K. It says
Yeah.
digital intermediate at 4K. Yep.
Okay. There you go.
So that one was done digitally, but that was actually finished in 4K, which is a rarity even for
Some
2018.
of it was filmed, though, you said, huh? Because I heard you say Panaflex.
I'm pretty sure that was probably the IMAX sequence at the end.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, well, like the last
lenses
20 minutes or whatever. Basically, all the stuff with the helicopters and Henry Cavill at the end is all the IMAX shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're on to this is 2015 for Rogue Nation. This one might be a 2K up convert. You're right about that. I think that's what you were hinting at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this one, yeah, looks like it. 2K intermediate. Yep.
Yeah,
Shot
Mission
in
Impossible
Ari.
3 was 2006. That was even further back than I thought it was.
Yep, that one's in film. That one looks pretty
No,
good,
that
except for
one's
the digital
definitely
shit.
film. Oh,
I mean,
no
the CGI
question.
stuff looks bad, but other than
Yeah.
that, it looks pretty good.
So
And it's really just like that helicopter.
Ghost
and a couple
Protocol
other
was
bits.
2011. Okay, I said 2012. I knew I was
Okay,
close.
enough.
So that
But
one again,
that was
on
probably the
cusp.
last one shot in film, I bet.
Well, yeah, because remember you had digital photography in 2011, but even at that point, a lot of it was still on Sony HD 1080.
Yeah, this is the last
cams.
one with a. Well, actually, this had a digital intermediate 4K. Well, this is probably for the 4K master, because it says it was done in 35 millimeter here. Yeah, 65 and 35 millimeter. Yep.
Yeah, IMAX digital some scenes, 70 millimeter IMAX some
Yep.
scenes.
Yeah,
This
so
is for
the
Ghost Protocol.
So Ghost Protocol is technically the last one finished in film.
Yeah, the Ariflex 435. I mean, again, those are all.
Yeah, the only one that looks like an up convert was Fallout.
Yeah. Yeah, 35.
Or not
millimeter.
Fallout. Which one was before that? In between there, whichever
Rogue
one.
Nation.
Rogue
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 Nation.
Nation. Jesus Christ.
So you had a little bit of red cameras in there, but most of Ghost Protocol, that was the last one that was mainly filmed 35 millimeter Kodak, 65 millimeter Kodak, and Red Code RAW. So you had a little bit in there with the Red Epic. There it is, the Red Epic camera.
Yeah. And again, I bet you that's all for the IMAX sequences,
Yeah.
and probably one of the action sequences is
Well,
the
the
RAW.
Red Epic at that point, I think in 2011, that would have been still been in like 2K.
Did it say? I thought it said two.
Well, there's a 4K digital intermediate from what they transferred the film to.
That's what I
but-
think that this. No, I think that 4K intermediate for that one is actually for this Blu-ray we have now.
Yeah.
Because it says the original finished film was done in.
No. I
film.
just meant when they were
Yeah.
using the Red Epic, whatever they filmed with the Red Epic camera.
Yeah, it was probably one of the
would've done
stunt
in
shots, is what I'm
2K.
saying. Yeah.
They would have shot that in 2K because I think that's all the Red Epic could do at that point.
I don't know. I think it might have been able to do 4K and 8K at that point.
I would have been close. That's right on the cusp in 2011.
And I don't know, but that one's the last one. Yeah, the only one that is and I think the only reason that Rogue Nation's 2K intermediate is I think that was an early 4K disc. They just
Could've
didn't redo it. Because the rest of these all have 4K masters now, yeah.
It depends on which generation of that Red Epic it was, because they had a few of them. Some of them were like 4K, some were 5K, but some of the original ones I thought were like 2K or.
I can't believe almost 200 people just listen to us nerd out on that for like.
I know, right? Nerd. Yeah, I know.
These
Nerd
are our
alert!
people, man. Our people.
There was
Oh,
other
really?
news. There was other news that I just remembered from the other day. Jeff Nelson, producer from Shout Factory, is leaving Shout Factory.
Oh yes.
Oh, really?
He
Yeah,
helped
he-
co-create
he-
Scream too. Scream Factory.
Yeah, he and Cliff McMillan were the two big guys curating stuff at Shout Factory.
Now, were
Yeah.
those guys the ones that came from Rhino, or are they the ones that came from like Anchor Bay?
I'm pretty sure Rhino.
Okay.
I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure on that. But Jeff and Cliff McMillan were the two guys primarily responsible
Two
for, like
big guys.
Greg said, Scream Factory and everything. Yeah.
Mhm.
That sucks.
Wonder where he's headed. Cause didn't he say he was headed somewhere to another?
Well,
No, he
No?
didn't say anything about where he was going. He
Oh, I
was
thought he said he was got another label that. He was
I don't know
going
nothing to go on with this, but yeah, like I'm getting to a point where I'm starting to wonder if these boutique labels can't quite cut it anymore, because we just lost what was it, Olive. And I thought I heard some rumors about Imprint or something or other was kind of struggling too. And we know that Scream and Shout, I mean, they've been doing well, but they haven't been getting the titles they used to. A lot of those have been getting lost to Kino.
Well, I
Mhm.
mean, there's other companies that have been popping up.
That's what I mean.
cannibalizing what's
Vinegar
available on the
Syndrome and
market.
Kino have kind of really taken
Yeah.
over the main.
There's a lot more competition with there more labels popping up, so that's not to be expected.
Then you got fucking Mill Creek in the middle who are who'll do anything for a buck.
I'm still taking credit for us changing their website. I know I keep saying that, but I consider that a victory.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the only thing that I was kind of strangely. I'm like, wow, I'm surprised they didn't update the first 3 or 4 MI films with a Dolby Atmos soundtrack. I was kind of surprised. Just surprised, not like pissed, but just surprised.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they're good. I can recommend them. The 4K releases, they're really decent. I mean, some of the latter films are some hit and miss scenes here and there. You can tell they had done some stuff to them here and there just to kind of minimize the grain as much as possible. But the first one specifically, like Mike said, really looks amazing. Really nice grain structure. I'm sure if De Palma had something to do with it, he made sure they kept their grubby fucking DNR paws and Neat paws off of it. And for those who haven't heard about it yet, Neat is the program I learned about, is why we couldn't put our finger on, like, it looks like DNR, but it's not DNR. That's what Neat does. What Neat does, it's NEAT, it's an acronym or whatever. I don't remember what it stands for, but it's basically a program that balances out the grain in the picture. Throughout the film, it does like this whole scan of the movie, then it like balances it all out to an even keel throughout the film, and I think it's destroying some scenes in movies. I think they need to be paying more attention to it instead of just running it like a whole film at once. Valiant, you kind of get what I'm saying here when I'm talking about. It's like a yeah, it's to balance out the grain, but I think it's really ruining some scenes.
You just have to be careful how you apply it. I mean, that's just it. It's like a tool. It's like anything. It can be useful if applied correctly, but if you don't, you can make a mess.
Yeah. No, not meat. Neat with an N. Yeah, sorry. Neat. Yeah, neat.
Neat.
Yeah. N is in Nancy. Yeah. Oh, Corrine sends us a $9.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. It's a little lemon guy dancing, and I think he's cheering. That's so cute. Thank you so much, Corrine. We appreciate the support here at the channel.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, and with that, I think we're going to wrap things up here because we got your show coming up here, Greg, in about an hour and a half. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir. Yep, the Physical Media Show.
That'll lead you from here to there.
Mm-hmm. Hope to see you guys there. We'll be talking physical media. Probably a little more
Mission Impossible.
But we also have other titles. So at least I have at least
a little bit about the new movie, I'm sure, because I think me and
Runner
have seen it. So
I was thinking about going this weekend myself. So it's going to I have to wait till then.
Valiant, anything you got coming up? I know you got I want to pump your video you just did because you pretty much got the word on what we were waiting for as to what's going on with the AMC theaters. Although I still think it's sus. I'd say you probably just did the best report we can. I mean, you just kind of reported what was out there, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. No, that one I put out a little while ago. Just because I've covered AMC, I've listened to earnings calls. Adam Aron's a really cool guy. He just loves his job. He loves doing what he does. I don't think anything came down from AMC upstairs to muck this up. They just wouldn't have signed with Angel Studios anyway if that was the case. I think you probably had a few people out there that were, they got the siren call from places like Rolling Stone magazine and trash like that, that they think they want to use their jobs to do bad stuff to customers that want to go see a movie that they don't like or something. Now, we don't know exactly what happened, but I don't think, if anything, it was anything more than that. But, we'll see where it goes. Just look, the important thing is go to AMC's website. Let them know if you had a bad experience, if you feel like employees were pulling some shenanigans at your location. Let AMC know. I guarantee you they want to know about that. So, indeed.
Great.
And then tomorrow morning, we'll have a video out talking about this Bob Iger stuff.
I'll check that out. Freaking Bob Iger.
Well, we knew he wasn't going anywhere. I mean, that was
I know. It's just, I've seen somebody in the chat saying that Campia is shelling for him real bad right now. So it's like, when does he not?
I mean, it's not a surprise, but a surprise at the same time, because like you just said, Valiant, you and I have been saying it for a while now. They're like, yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
No, I didn't expect it to show up today.
No.
But, I mean, yeah, he's doing this interview on CNBC tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. Now it makes sense. That's why.
I wonder who isn't going to be. I'm not gonna finish that sentence. I didn't say she was fired. I just said, look who thinks he can be renewed. Is all I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Just for the damn
No,
record.
I don't. She ain't getting renewed this time.
Dude.
I don't see it. Dude.
I don't think she's getting any marching papers, but
No.
somebody's head's gonna roll though.
She'll be able to hang around through the contract's
My prediction is
expiration.
by Friday somebody will be fired.
Yeah, somebody's gonna get blamed.
Somebody will be fired by Friday over this whole Indiana Jones thing.
Hey, the problem with that is there's only so many people that you can.
Somebody will be let go from Pixar too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, look, I mean, who do you get rid of? Lin-Manuel Brennan, the general manager.
It's not going to be anybody that matters at the end of the day.
Do you get carried back? Yeah, exactly.
Pablo Hidalgo. It's all his fault.
That would be now that.
Well, don't say that.
Would be hilarious, but he has nothing to do with Indy.
Now,
He's a Star Wars boy, so yeah.
Don't say that because, of course, as everybody knows,
he's your source.
Pablo Hidalgo is our source of information from
Yeah,
Lucasfilm,
no.
so we would not want to get him fired because that's what I have heard. That's what I have
honestly,
heard from the tinfoil hat community. So.
It's going to be somebody who we've never probably even heard of inside Lucasfilm, and or it'll be a situation where Mangold won't get his Star Wars movie probably.
Good.
But otherwise, we'll hear about somebody from Lucasfilm being shit canned by the end of the week, I bet, and Pixar. But
Frank Marshall
might
fall
not-
on his sword.
oh god, doubtful. Well, they can't really fire Frank Marshall.
He's
just a
too old to
producer.
give a damn. He don't care. Yep.
Don't tempt me. I'll do it. Congo. He
Just
pops
watched
up on
Congo the other
Congo.
night. Watch
How's
Congo
it
the
hold
other
up?
night. About the same. It's not great. It's pretty boring, but the actors are all really good. I mean, the actors are all giving it their all, but the material.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while.
And it's got. I guess I never noticed before. It's got this step cut editing whenever the gorillas are in the movie that I never really noticed before until it was
What do you
pointed out
mean
by a
step
podcast.
cut?
They take frames out to make the action.
Oh, like the choppy kind of editing kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a podcast I listened to that last week.
See that a
Congo
lot in
was
horror
there.
films. Yeah.
Yeah, especially during the late '90s, and when Congo came out and stuff. Yeah, during that time period. But yeah, a podcast I listened to, their Friday episode was focused on Congo, so I had to go back and watch it. But, yeah.
Interesting.
Congo.
People seem to think I'm a huge fan because of the whole Frank Marshall thing, but I think it's okay. It was just one of those movies. I mean, you can look at it from a Rubber Monster movie kind of movie. I like it, but like,
the big problem with Congo is Dylan Walsh is horrible.
Well,
if they had
it's just,
he's just bland. And
it almost
part of that's the script and part of it's him. But everybody else in that movie is just giving it all. Ernie Hudson is awesome in that movie. And so is Tim Curry. They're both awesome in that movie.
They just sold the movie so much on the Jurassic Park aspect, and it should have just been like
I mean,
promotion like from the producers of Jurassic Park, from the writer of Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
But not as good as Jurassic Park.
But imagine Bruce Campbell in the lead role in that film instead of Dylan Walsh.
God, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Much better.
You're talking about the guy who handles Amy, right?
The main character,
Yeah.
Because Bruce Campbell,
Because he's not really in anything else, is he? I don't remember him in much else.
He was on Nip Tuck.
Okay.
He was the star of that. He plays Lois Lane's dad on the Superman Lois show right now. Currently.
Yeah, okay. But
So he
Stop eating my sesame cake. Stop eating my sesame cake!
Oh yeah, Del Rolando shows up for like a scene or two, and then he's gone. There's a bunch of scenes like that where they'll get really good actors for like a scene or two in that movie, and then they're gone. I mean, you got Jonan Baker plays the CEO of the communications company. He's only in
I got the Blu-ray. I should so watch that again. I know it's batshit crazy from memory, but anyway, we got to get out of here, folks. You got anything coming up, Mike, that you want to plug?
No, not really. Just follow me on Twitter if you want to be subject to my nonsense. So,
Well, we're glad to have you here because you have a vast knowledge when it comes to home video, so it's always appreciated. And we appreciate you guys out there, the chat, who make this show possible. There was nearly 200 of you watching the whole time. Hit that like button if you haven't already.
Hoorah.
And tell your friends and family about the show. We do try to keep it PG here, and we do try to keep it pretty much focused only on home video. So keep that in mind. So this is something to spread to all the other folks out there. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you guys, Valent, Greg, Mike. Check out their channels, of course, respectively. The links should be in the chat. Along with Robert Meyer Burnett's. He does bop in once in a while. So check us all out. And yeah, take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll see you on the next round. Bye.
Deuces.
Yeah.
Yay!
Deuces like what you pooped.
Like 2 number 2s.
Oh, so much for the PG.
Oh.
Potty
Somebody said-
humor, it's the best.
Amy wants green drop drink.
No.
Amy wants green drop drink.
All right, all right. She's allowed one, it'll calm her down.